Etchr, and in today's video, I'm going to show you my full process composing this pretty simple art journal page over here of a package of wafers, a little can of tomato paste, and my fur baby DuDu napping in his bed. So this is my current sketchbook, and I've been working on it for about a month now, drawing very much every day. These days, during the cold days of winter, I love going to cafes to do sketches of my brunch or a cup of coffee and a treat and the views around me. And I do everything from real-life observations, from line works to watercolors, and each page average, it took me about 1 hour to fill. Alright, so first of all, let's sketch a package of durian flavored wafers, and here's my blank page. It's always exciting to start filling a white blank page. I'm never scared of a white blank page. It's always very inviting to me. So it's just beginning to draw the top of the rectangular prism shape of the package. And the pressed edges of the package here on the left, I see them as triangles from this angle. The thickness of this package and more organic shapes of the pressed edge here on the right hand side. So really drawing what I'm seeing with these organic shapes and folds is pretty cool. Okay, so that's the general outline and the edge details of this package. Now I'm having fun drawing the graphics. So this is like a red banner displaying the logo of the brand, Garden brand from Hong Kong, I think, and then drawing the little graphics of durian. So durian is a kind of tropical fruit from Southeast Asia, and it has a pungent smell, but it's pretty tasty to some people. The flesh is kind of like custard, and the exterior of this fruit is very spiky, and you can find this fruit at some Asian markets such as TNT. Now I'm drawing the graphics of the wafers on the right hand side of the package, stacks of 3, and drawing letters can also be pretty fun. And I found capital letters to be a little easier to draw compared to the lowercase letters. Okay, and then on top of it is cream. More details about these wafers. The price is actually $2.99 here in Canada at the Chinese market. Okay, so after these essential details of graphics and letters, now I'm adding the surface texture, part of the package design, which is a really nice way of detailing and giving a sense of three-dimensionality to this rectangular prism shape. Another banner here on the smaller side here in the front. More letters. And another durian fruit. So you may or may not like the smell of durian, so just be cautious if it's first time trying it. And another stack of wafers. More little letters. And some more package design details, these loose parallel lines. So just relax my hand and get these marks done. Accentuate the outline of the package, and that's it for the line work. Now I'm ready to have fun painting watercolors. Alright, so first of all, I'm going to wet the whole package surface with clear water, so it's easy for the paint to spread out very loosely and smoothly. Starting with the yellows of these wafer images and the flesh of the durian fruit, grabbing some leftover green, which is a mix of viridian green and lime green, a little bit of red, orange for the banners. Okay, so these colors are the most prominent ones on the package. Now, starting to add this green tea color, which is a mix of lime green, a little bit of viridian green, and a bit of yellow ochre. So this is kind of like an organic yellow-green color. Spreading it pretty much all over the package. And leaving some parts unpainted for the shine of the plastic package. For example, the triangle on the bottom right on top. Now I'm adding these thin brush marks of darker values of the same green. And a little bit more viridian green mixed in for these stripes. And yeah, so overall this package is pretty easy to paint. I just want to make this red a little stronger because after the layer of paint dries, the tone, it tends to fade out a little bit. So just feel free to go back to any colors that you want to make stronger after that previous layer is all dried. Wetting the shadow area with clear water, grabbing some blue violet, dilute it. Now to make the package look a bit stronger, I'm adding an even darker green shade for these thick stripes. Simply by mixing more viridian green into it, and same for the body part of the package and around the letters. And then shade these silvery corners with kind of a muted turquoise. And that's it. Here's the look of my finished sketch. And the next thing that I'm going to sketch is another simple and fun object. It's a little can of tomato paste. Let's do it. Alright, so I'm going to begin with the top of the cylinder shape, which is an ellipse, and the brim, and the inner brim, and the rings, very typical for the top of a can. And then the body part too, vertical lines, and then the bottom of any cylinder is nice and round, and the brim of the cylinder, accentuate the very bottom. And now it's time to have fun drawing these graphics again, these little Roma tomatoes with stamps. Alright, I'm moving closer for you to see better. Now I'm starting to draw the logo of this brand, which is Compliments, with a big letter C, the name of the product, canned tomato paste, and final little renderings, accentuations around the brim, and that's it for the drawing. It's very quick and simple. Took me about 3 minutes or so to draw. Now it's time to quickly paint in the watercolors. Just wet the whole area with a little clear water, starting with these vibrant reds of the little tomatoes. And the shade of pretty much all metallic objects have a muted blue, turquoise kind of hue. So I mix my own with cobalt blue and a little bit of viridian green, diluted with a lot of water for the first layer of the top of the can. Wait for that to dry off. Now I'm having fun painting this color, mostly royal purple, with a little bit of magenta, so it's a slightly warmer purple. Noticing that I'm leaving 2 of these vertical streaks, perfect paper white, for the shine of the glossy paper. It's a pretty simple technique when you're painting shiny surfaces. And then grabbing some lime green mixed with viridian green to paint the stamps of the tomato. Clean my brush, grabbing a more concentrated red magenta containing less water compared to that previous layer. So I'm able to create slight bit of gradients or shading for these tomatoes, leaving some spots of a lighter value or white for the highlights of these spherical little tomatoes. Now, next layer for the metallic can top. Pretty much the same color, a bluish turquoise, more concentrated than before. Slight bit of retouches for the purple wrapper, and then the shadow using my usual recipe, mixing cobalt blue with a bit of royal purple. A pretty diluted version, and that's it. Here's a look of my finished sketches so far, just chilling at home. Now, moving on to finding DuDu. He's sleeping in his soft bed on the staircase landing. He's stretching a little bit. Okay. DuDu keeps on moving, and it's always a challenge to sketch him. So I'm going to wait for him to change to a more stable pose before I start sketching. Okay, he's peeking at me. I think he knows that I'm going to sketch him. Alright, here we go. I think I'm ready. Alright, so I'm going to start with the contour outline of his little bed, which is kind of like a rectangle, a very round rectangle. This is the contour outline. Here it is. He's in a more stable pose right now for me. Now I'm drawing the front wall of the bed. Now it looks even more three-dimensional, and the brim of the bed is pretty thick. So the head of an animal is always the hardest part. I'm starting with the contour outline, which is a really fluffy one of DuDu's face and his neck, and then his 2 pointy ears. The 2 ears, each one is in the shape of a round pyramid. and then drawing the tufts of hair inside each ear. Now, just drawing that boundary line between the tabby masquerade mask and the neck, and then drawing his little nose, and then one eye closed, the other one I can only see a little bit, all pointing towards the nose, little bit of the other cheek, starting to loosely draw the stripes of his tabby mask. And then trying to add a small number of whiskers in swiping pen marks. And just want to figure out the bottom of his chin there is hidden by the furry back. Alright, and then this loose furry outline is actually connected to one of his front paws, adding a bit of furry texture of layers on the neck. And the tabby pattern for his masquerade mask, especially around the forehead area. He has black ears, and his body is a little bit shortened because it's actually curled up inside the bed. This is the tail. It's looking shorter than usual because it's curled up. His spine is actually under the depths of the bed, just drawing his the boundary between the black and white areas of the fur, more furry texture along his back. A little bit more tabby stripes on the face. And now I'm summarizing this polka dot pattern inside the bed, which is really adorable. And final polish, a bit of accentuation on the bottom. That's it. And DuDu just moved again. Now I cannot see his face anymore. So I'm going to just do the painting part partially from memory. And I'm going to use very limited colors to paint DuDu and his bed. So starting to wet his masquerade mask area with clear water and putting on some diluted yellow ochre mixed with burnt sienna. Again, there is this yellow-brown underlay underneath his black fur. A tiny bit of shade for the white furry areas as well. Now I'm ready to paint the first layer for the bed. So when painting anything that we see in watercolors, it's better to start with a pretty diluted version of that local color. So it's easier to paint the contrast as we are layering later on. And this is the exterior of his bed. So I started with a diluted version of brown. Now, this is the second layer, wet onto wet, a much more intense version of brown, blending with the wet first layer. So to create an illusion of a curving surface with a bit of shine here and there. And same idea for the inside of the bed. So I'm mixing a little bit cobalt blue with burnt sienna to get a darker sepia, a darker value compared to the first layer to paint DuDu's shadow inside the bed. Now, second layer for DuDu's black patches on the back. This is a mix of burnt sienna and some pure black. Spreading out a little bit, so there's a little bit of value transition for this dark black patch. It's not a solid black. It needs to have a sense of depth with value transitions, wet onto wet, very much pure black for the very top layer of his black furry area. And same for the tabby stripes, little thin brush marks of black. Tiny bit of diluted red for the tip of the nose. Shade his white furry area a little bit with leftover black on my brush tip, spreading out a little bit so the black is diluted into a very light gray. Okay, now I want to intensify his shadow a little bit further. Same for the exterior of the bed. So when the previous layers dried off, the values tend to fade off a little bit too. So it's good to add another layer of retouches. That's it. Here is DuDu, ooh, wriggling, stretching in the bed. Here is a look of my finished sketch. Alright, so thank you so much for watching this tutorial video, everyone. I hope it's both entertaining and educational. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section below. If you like it, please click like and leave me a comment below. And subscribe to my channel if you're new. to stay tuned for more upcoming videos twice or 3 times a week. Have a wonderful day, everyone. I will see you again very soon next time in the next few days. Bye!